Good morning everyone and welcome back to the vlog. In today's update, we are going to be showing you what is happening to the greenhouse of the King Tower farm. Sorry about the noise, the backhoe is actually tearing down some fencing over here. Now, Turbulent has been working so hard to meet our deadline for the tower farm, and the structure for the greenhouse is finally up. I didn't get to film the pre-prep of the whole area, but we are going to be showing you now what is happening, and I think we're, I would say, 50% complete already. I hope you can hear my voice over the backhoe operating, but as you can see right now, they've done the footing for the stands. The stands will have the gutters. Over here on the left, we have the gutter on already, and they mounted the dome already. So we're gonna have 3 domes in total. We're gonna be building an ante-room right here, and then that will help control our pest and bacteria problems to stop it from going into the actual greenhouse. So we also have a small retaining wall there. We're gonna have a lot of cooling fans over there, and then over here we're just gonna have screens to help draw air and push it out through the other side. Also, we're gonna have shade netting crossing from the top section of the towers, and we think we're gonna have approximately 10 or 11 towers. So we're setting everything up in such a way that some of the biggest or bushiest plants will have the most space, and then some of the smaller or non-bushy plants will have the tighter spaces, just to be more efficient. Our grow area for the nursery and nutrient solutions will be parked over there on the left side in the back. So we're gonna show you everything that's going to happen over the next few weeks, because I think by the target of mid-April to end of April, we should be fully operational again. Turbulent has been working very hard to finish this greenhouse. Hopefully in the next 10 days, they can actually turn it over to us so that we can finish building the rest of the details of the greenhouse. One of the requirements that I set with Emmy was to make sure that the greenhouse achieves a 28-degree ambient temperature. Now we're also going to cool the nutrient solution system, which is going to happen way back in the corner over here. And hi Lala. Anyway, we're going to add a nutrition cooling system over there in the corner, which will also help us bring the temperature down for the plants. Now, I'm hoping that we achieve this temperature because apparently plants don't like it when the temperature is too high, and they start to produce more seed if they're experiencing a lot of heat. So obviously our goal is to maximize efficiency and make sure that the crops that we're getting are optimum. Hello. Wait, no. Where have you been? We got some mutas. Cooling fan system. This isn't very complicated. There seems to be a motor on the corner, and as it's sucking air, it's basically pushing the air out through the louvers. We're going to try to seal everything as best as possible to get as many pests out. In this section over here, as you can see, they're already digging out some trenches and support beams. This is going to have the nutrition system also, I guess, dedicated here. I don't know where our nursery is also going to be. I think the nursery has to be somewhere here or maybe at the back. On the sides here, we have these guide support rods. This is just to make sure that during high windy areas that the whole system doesn't shake over. So hopefully this whole thing holds up. According to Emmy, this spec is one of his highest built specs, so we're hoping during typhoon season we don't have many issues. The nice thing with the round domes, during the typhoon, the air will supposedly just bounce off them rather than try to shake them if it's a flat roof. Hopefully we'll get an update again in the next 10 days. This has been such a long process already, but version 3 should be the best, right? Finally walking over to the greenhouse so I can show you guys the progress that's been happening over the past few weeks. I've been so busy, but today we're going to show you, what's been done and how far we are from completion. This is going to be our ante-room, and what happens here is basically when you come in, you're going to put on a lab gown, take off your shoes, leave it here, put on some slippers, disinfect over here. There's going to be a blower here to push out any bugs that could have been on you, and there'll also be a blower on basically both doors. So this is to prevent pests from coming in and any biological problems. Right now inside the greenhouse, we are finalizing the floor. What's happening is we're basically leveling everything so that we're going to be making some walkways. Over here on this side of the greenhouse is the extractor fans. This is basically pushing the air out or pulling the air out. There's 12 fans on this side. And then over here we have the cooling fins. The cooling fins are basically like radiators. There's water passing through pipes in them, circulating, and as the extractor fans behind me pull air, it's going to suck the air from there and hopefully cool down the greenhouse. The extractor fans behind me work in tandem. They're going to be working 4 at a time to bring down the temperature. If the ideal temperature is not met, then it's going to bring it down or turn on 4 more, and then again, if it's not on the ideal temperature, it's going to turn on the 12 fans, which goes all the way down there. So right here, as you can see by the post area, this is going to be a walkway. So it's a 1/2 meter on this side and another 1/2 meter on this side. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have a tower right here, and then another walkway right here, and then the tower system again here, and then another 1/2 meter walkway over here. So basically per dome, we're going to have 3 tower lines, and we're going to actually elevate the towers to about 13 pods now, being that we've raised the head space of the greenhouse. Also in the roofing, as you can see, we have the shade netting. The shade netting is basically going to be retracted when the sun is too strong. These are the cooling fins. As you can see, it looks like radiators. So behind this, we're also going to put a net in hopes that bugs don't fly in through there. According to Emmy, this is the biggest greenhouse that he's ever done in terms of height and width and just overall design. Obviously, we did something different. We wanted to push him in terms of design and seeing what the limitations are. Basically, what happened over the course of how many months is we're combining our technologies together. He is combining his technology with my tower farm technology, and then we're going to see what we can produce from there. A lot of the goals of the greenhouse is to future-proof it from extreme rising temperatures. That's why we have so much cooling pads and we have so much extractor fans. One of the key ingredients that we are implementing is the nutrient cooling solution. If you guys have seen my turbulent farm video, when we visited Emmy in his Tagaytay farm, he basically has the refrigerant system for the nutrient solution. So we're going to try to blend these two together and then basically remove the pump system from the base of the tower so that we can plumb it straight into the tower, and then it's gonna drain and feed back into the cistern. Outside over here, we are building some massive downspouts. These are basically rainwater collection from all of the gutters. This is gonna go straight down to the lagoon that we're building down there. We are trying to just save as much water as we can, especially if it's nice fresh water. So in case that we have any water issues in the future, we are self-sufficient in that way. We have a water tower over there because we're planning to do an irrigation system also for the fruit orchard side. Over here, we've decided to build a lot more of the hugel culture raised beds. If you guys haven't seen that video, it's super interesting. This technology works so well for us. That's why we've decided to add, I think, 20 more raised beds. Over here, we only have like 11 raised beds, but we will be building about 9 or I guess 10 more. And then we're going to be adding it down there where the towers used to be. We've experienced so much delays already with this project. I'm hoping in the next few weeks we can actually finally operate again, because I'm so excited to see if the key objectives of doing this greenhouse was met. Basically, we want to eliminate all the pests because we would lose about 40% to 60% of our crops to pests. Number 2 is to increase the efficiency of the tower system, because again, the environment here in Caliraya basically is very conducive to growing vegetables, but also very conducive to growing insects and pests. Number 3 also was to future-proof it in terms of growing vegetables that like colder climates. So hopefully we can achieve these goals, and this whole greenhouse behind me is worth the investment. Quick update, this is the electrical panel that's been installed, and then we're going in. I haven't been shooting, I apologize, but it's not really that significant. We have the pathways and then the planter boxways. We're painting the walls now and then connecting all the fans up. Over here, they've actually started to lay out the base pods. So the base pods are going to be sitting on the gravel. We ended up getting screen here so that when the plants shed their leaves, it's easier to sweep rather than it getting stuck within the rocks. Over here, we are actually making a nursery section. The nursery section will be where we are going to sprout our seedlings. That's why you're going to have some rows here, walkway in between. So this is going to hopefully provide all the seeds that we need to manage all the towers here. The only thing we are lacking now is actually getting the water pumps that we need to run the line system, and then getting the water pump to feed into the cistern that I'm standing on. Basically, this whole section will be all towers, and then this will be, I guess, these systems, but the tanks that we're using are going to be outside. So, pretty massive undertaking, and we're a bit behind schedule as always. I'm just hoping that this is going to be finished soon. Some tower farm updates. We are laying down everything and doing some internal piping. So as you can see, they've dug out everything again. We're burying this main tube, basically replumbing everything. We have removed the pump from the system so that we can connect it to the main line. Main line's gonna look like this, and then they all have quick connect fittings to connect to the base, which is connected or not yet connected. Wow, I thought we were so close, but doesn't seem like we're so close. It still seems we're so far. Welcome to the new and improved tower farm. As you can see, all the towers behind me are already up. We did a test already for the pump system, and we're happy to report that the pump can basically push the water all the way up to the 13 pods. We've never gone 13 pods before. This is our first time, and we have 2 of the exhaust fans working. This is almost ready, and I'm gonna meet with Emmy and see what is happening because we're so behind schedule already. Burying the lines finally. Okay, let's do the final update. Welcome to the holding room. This is basically where we're going to change, disinfect our feet, wear a lab gown, wash our hands. This is the control board for the whole system. It's been labeled already, fans, so we have automatic mode and manual. So there's 12 fans if I'm not mistaken, and yeah, the voltage, and then I think this is the sort of brain of the system where you can set the humidity also when the fan should turn on. So as soon as you come in, you disinfect your feet. We're gonna add a blower somewhere here, so in case that there's anything flying behind you, it's gonna get blown out. And then moving into the main chamber. I mean, this whole experience has been issue after issue, and it hasn't stopped. We actually are lacking a lot of the stainless rods to help make the towers taller. So in the start of the section here, we're actually not going to put the 13 pods of the tower. So over here, we're thinking of growing the heavier plants like the, I guess, the chilies or the tomatoes, where they're much heavier. And then we can concentrate on the lighter plants on the taller towers like cabbage, broccoli, kale. And then we're going to do massive experiments again in terms of trying as many varieties as possible, because I figured that since we're now controlling the environment, controlling the situation where we're able to extract humidity, not get the molds, cool the nutrients so that we can artificially simulate a colder environment than what the plants are experiencing heat-wise, and still retain the benefits of having the sun as our main heat source, then I think we can, yeah, try to experiment, see how the plants will react with this new environment and new system, and then from there get to refocus on what we really need and what we're going to focus on what we're going to grow. Obviously, we want to try to grow the more important crops in terms of hardiness, storage, transport. For the leafy crops, we're actually going to move all the leafy vegetables into the aquaponic system, which means the kangkong, lettuce, pechay, bok choy, those will all go into the aquaponic system. And then over here will be mostly of the fruiting kind. Moving down, this will be the nursery area where we're going to be growing all the little sprouts. We're actually going to have a dome for each, I think, just to retain more moisture. And this is finally the nutrition system. We're still lacking one more component, which is the UV light. The UV light will go in between this pump system right here, and then before it reaches these 2 tanks for the dosatron. So as I explained to you guys, from the outside water source, it's gonna get pumped into this tank. This tank is gonna get UV lighted. The pump is going to push the fluids using two dosatron, which are passive mixing devices, to actually extract water and then dump it here into the cistern. The cistern will now get cooled down by these two chillers. The chillers will just basically pull the water out, extract it, and put it back in just to refrigerate the system. And then these are our line pumps. The line pumps are now connected underground via a network of tubing. And what we've done is actually removed all the pumps in the towers and made sure that we're now using a standalone system, which is saving us on electricity. Behind me is the control board. This is actually the control system for the line pump system. It has a timer system also. And yeah, right now it's hot because none of the fans are on. But basically when it gets too hot here, the fans will turn on to extract air while pulling cold air from the radiators, or the cooling pads as they say over here. Emmy also has decided to put electric motor to pull these sunshades in because he found out that the crank was super ugly. So he was saying that let's just add a motor, and I totally agree with him. So he hasn't added that motor, but we will be adding that soon. We basically remove the manual crank handle, which is attached to that ring, which was sitting over here. Anyway, I know everyone has been waiting for an update with the tower farm, and I think it's finally time for me to end this vlog. The next time you see the tower farm, everything will be in full production, and I'm really hoping that this new system and investment will help maximize our potentials and give us the most amount of efficient way to grow the vegetables that we want to grow. Sorry about the construction noise. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, please message me down below. If not, I will see you guys again in the next video. Peace.